On today's show, we discover the sweet sound of a most unique place, a Minnesota grouse camp, and we'll take you there. Plus, we tagged along to the Minnesota State High School Clay Target Tournament. Check out these sharpshooters, the future of the sport. Carbon monoxide poisoning can be a serious problem in the winter months. We take a look at the warning signs that every Minnesotan should know. And later, who knew that there was so much involved in the making of a shotgun shell? So we tagged along with the folks at Federal who have the process down to a science. Those stories and more next.
Minnesota's select GMC dealers present Minnesota Bound. From the North Country, here's Ron Shera and Raven, the Black Lab.
Hi, everybody. Raven and I welcome you to the show. You know, another grand tradition in Minnesota is grouse hunting. And there also are grouse hunting camps. Now, the one you're about to visit, well, they say it has a musical beat. Bill Shirk has the story.
Come cool fall days, Minnesota's grouse woods wake up. Hunters call Pine Ridge Grouse Camp home. So does this guy, Kevin Burt. An Iowa guy who self-admittedly doesn't know boo about the woods.
That almost made me pee my pants. Come on, Kate. What you got, Kate? What's cool is I really don't know what I'm doing, but all you got to do is repeat what you've heard sometimes, and the dogs go with it. Make it look like you know what you're doing.
Nice job, buddy. Good shooting. Minnesota grouse, dude.
This is what the game is.
For Kevin, the game really isn't about the hunt, but rather his new life back in camp. Kevin's camp chef, and he cooks from within.
I got asked to come up here and do something that people weren't going to expect, you know. And so far, I've been riding that horse okay. Need a little more.
No recipe, no script, and he never cooks the same meal twice.
For me, cooking is a lot like singing. It's if you do it from your soul, nobody can argue with that. And so I try to put together flavors that have some appeal to me, that take me back to my childhood. I got a connection with. So my goal is just to make it good. I think that's what this will be. And there's no rules. No, never cooked professionally, you know. And I can't say that that's what this is. You know, I'm still in my head. I'm cooking for family. You know, you never want to disappoint people that you care about. You know, this is mashed potatoes with garlic, onion. This is that point in the evening where my opinion doesn't matter anymore.
I'm enjoying it a whole lot.
Beautiful, beautiful. I was going for that.
Right after dinner, Kevin leaves the dirty dishes. It is here his real story unfolds.
This is a little song I wrote for my daughters. Hope y'all dig on this. It's called Your Smile. I want to see you every day and night just to make sure everything's alright, because you know you're daddy's little girl. Hey, you know that daddy always wants to be there for you, babies. Make sure everything's alright in your world.
Kevin grew up an Iowa kid, a kid who loved football. But as the football career ended, Kevin needed a new passion. Turns out he had always loved music.
Let me be what I be, gotta be your house frog. For you, I drink muddy water, baby, I was sleeping. As I progressed as a musician, I went from 5 jobs in singing to 4, 3, 2, 1. During that time, I got married. My wife was pregnant with our first child. I walked in the house one day and I said, honey, I think I'm going to quit my day job and just go after music. And Belly was out to here, and she looked at me with a smile on her face and she said, it's about time. See see the crystal raindrops fall. And the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through. I've been blessed with some opportunities to do shows with some bigger names in blues. You know, folks like B.B. King, Buddy Guy, Coco Taylor. Just the two of us. So we can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Which brings us back to Grouse Camp.
We'll put, Bob's dogs down, get some pictures. You guys can hunt together.
See, Jerry Havel, who runs Pine Ridge, needed a camp chef. He'd seen Kevin play a concert, and he had an idea.
It sounded like something different.
Kevin agreed to sign on as camp chef and after-dinner entertainment.
Just to see you smile, na 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 na. Just to see you smile, na na na.
The word that comes to mind for me is magical. It makes for a magical stay here, and he's a big part of it. Kevin and the music and the wilderness and northern Minnesota, the dogs, the side-by-side shotguns, it's just special. It's a special place for a lot of people.
You have your preconceived idea of what a hunting camp is. This place is none of that.
Turns out, for Kevin, it's better. Much, much better.
Hey, appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Kevin.
Up next, meet the future of shooting sports. Don't let their age fool you. These high school sharpshooters rarely miss.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota's Select GMC Dealers. Renewal by Anderson, makers of quality replacement windows and doors. Connecticut, better water flows from better thinking. And by Ice Force, proven hard water gear.
Coming up, a new high school sport, well, not really new, but certainly fast-growing, and it has quite a bang to it.
A question. What's the fastest-growing sport these days in our Minnesota high schools? Would you guess football or baseball, perhaps tennis? The answer? Trap shooting. It's the fastest-growing high school sport in the state. Just ask these young sharpshooters competing in the state high school clay target tournament.
Not every kid is cut out to be a football player. Not every kid's cut out to be a basketball player. You don't need superb strength, speed, things like that to be a good trap shooter. Good hand-eye coordination, that'll do the trick for you.
Jim Zabel started the program in 2008 with students from Orono, Wayzata, Minnetonka, and Hopkins. He believed the future of the sport was in trouble.
I retired in 2000, and in 2001, I was spending a lot of time at the Plymouth Gun Club. One day, while I was sitting there looking at all of the guys in the clubhouse, couldn't help noticing I was one of the younger ones. I thought, wow, I wonder what the average age of our club is.
Turns out the average age was 55. So Jim decided that unless there were more young people attracted to the sport, its future would be uncertain.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the schools and talk to them. I would love to see this become a varsity sport. It went from 3 teams to 6 teams, from 6 teams to 13 teams. Last year we had 34 schools. This year we have 100 schools. We have 29 schools already on the list for next year that have asked if they can come into the league. So
trap shooting is now growing in the right direction, and the kids are catching on fast.
I think it's very important to have something like this in the high school because some of our shooters aren't into the usual sports that are offered in the high school.
Shooting coaches are especially pleased with the results.
So we're seeing the kids that
usually go waterfowl hunting.
That like to the opportunities to hunt and fish.
Pheasant hunting, and then shoot out at my grandpa's old farm.
That's the type of activities they like to pursue.
That'd be a good chance because you can letter in it if you make varsity.
It's a fun sport, and there's a lot of people that are there to help you.
A lot of my friends do it too, so it's a good chance to hang out with them as well.
It's not exactly time consuming, and it's just a great hobby to have.
They're doing very well.
Coach Burning approached his school board about the idea of a trap shooting team last year. So his team is competing for the first time at the tournament.
The progress they've made since we've started the beginning of the season is incredible.
What do I do to smile or dance? Oh, you can do whatever. You can dance.
Really, when we come up here, we're looking for personal best. Our varsity team shot really well today, and we'll find out more how they did in the next hour or so.
Oh, you might recognize one of the other shooters on the White Bear Lake team. Yep, that ponytail belongs to Casey Nelson, already a state shooting champion. Looks like this competition is heating up. Once all age levels have completed their rounds, the results are in.
Casey Nelson from Monoxide.
Sharpshooter Casey Nelson takes home the first place varsity female high gunner. The tournament recognizes all levels, from varsity high gun to the junior varsity and novice shooters. And how did our first-year competitors do in the tournament?
There's a year of hard work, right there. We worked hard all season, showed up every week, came out, encouraged each other. I couldn't be more proud of you.
One interesting thing that I found, some of the schools have done a survey on this and asked the kids what they like best about the program. I think in the back of my mind I was thinking so many of these kids have never shot before that they would say learning a new sport and learning how to be good at the sport.
Why don't you guys give me a wave?
Number one answer, the new friends I've made. That's a pretty neat takeaway from the program.
Winners all, in many ways. With the winter months right around the corner, it's time to know the signs of carbon monoxide poisoning. The folks at HCMC will run through what you should watch for.
Closed captioning for Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Joe's Sporting Goods.
Coming up, a little outdoor safety advice from the folks at Hennepin County Medical Center for all of you who go to deer camps or sleep in ice fishing shacks.
When it's cold out, thousands of us sleep in deer shacks or fish in ice houses, but danger lurks there. Dr. Cheryl Atkinson, the HCMC Medical Director for the Center of Hyperbaric Medicine, says these shacks can be a setup for something called carbon monoxide poisoning.
Carbon monoxide is a gas. It's a gas that is released when hydrocarbons burn, meaning any fuel that we think of, whether that's gas or natural gas. Wood is a hydrocarbon. Anytime any of those burn, carbon monoxide is released.
When does carbon monoxide become dangerous? Take a look around your deer shack or ice shack.
A closed environment where somebody is trying to heat that, where they're using a different kind of apparatus like ice fishing houses.
So, what are the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning?
Nausea, headache, a little blurred vision, dizziness. Everybody's getting sick at the same time. The problem is it doesn't in and of itself have any odor. You can't see it.
If you recognize these symptoms, get into fresh air immediately. If the symptoms persist, call for emergency help. When a patient comes into HCMC with carbon monoxide poisoning, they are treated in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
A brand new one, so you're looking at state-of-the-art. We fill the chamber with compressed air, so this is air that we would be breathing if we were visiting in here. And the patient then wears a mask that goes over their nose and mouth like this.
The best solution is to take precautions, so no visits to the oxygen chamber will be necessary.
Hi, I'm Rob Drieslein, Managing Editor of the Outdoor News Publications. It was another great year of big buck hunting at Camp Ripley in central Minnesota. The military reservation near Little Falls hosts several thousand archers for 2 bow hunts in late October each year. Camp Ripley contains as many as 3,000 whitetails within its booming borders, and every year hunters help to manage the herd. For the 9th year running, hunters at Camp Ripley were allowed to take up to 2 deer and use bonus permits to increase harvest on antlerless deer. This year, hunters took a total of 431 whitetails. That's 35% above Camp Ripley's long-term average. It's 2% increase over the 422 deer that were taken at Ripley in 2011. About 4,200 archers participated in the 4 days of hunting for about a 10% success rate. The 53,000-acre Camp Ripley is known for its big deer, and this year 11 lucky hunters took deer weighing more than 200 pounds. Ryan Brenny of Rice, Minnesota, and James Higgins of South Haven took the largest bucks with a pair of 215-pounders. Congrats to those two and all the hunters who helped manage the Camp Ripley herd. For regular updates on how all 2012 fall hunting seasons unfold, check out a print edition of Outdoor News or view us online at outdoornews.com. I'm Rob Jerusalem.
Coming up, our classic takes a look at all that's involved in the making of a shotgun shell. Who better than the folks at Federal?
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery. Hennepin County Medical Center, bringing outdoor safety tips from the experts at HCMC to your mobile device. And by Seven Clans Casino.
Coming up, for those of us who go trap shooting, sporting clays, whatever, or go pheasant hunting, we put a shell in a shotgun, pull the trigger, and it goes off, right? But how does that happen? Well, we went to the folks at Federal Cartridge to find out.
When the ducks fly and the pheasants cackle, when the claybirds sail and a shotgun fires, America's 15 million sport shooters go through boxes and boxes of ammunition. Ammo that Frank O'Keefe has helped produce now for nearly 30 years.
This is the colorant material.
O'Keefe is the director of manufacturing for Federal Cartridge Company. Federal has been pumping out rifle and shotgun ammo from its plant in Anoka, Minnesota for more than 70 years now, supplying America's shooters as well as its soldiers.
I think we're one of the highest quality manufacturers of shot shell ammunition and all ammunition products as far as that goes in the country.
Making a shotgun shell is also a process that seems to happen in a magical way.
Now we come over and we make the metal head. We feed the steel strip in one end and it comes out the other end as a finished component. They are automatically transported via that belt to a distribution system up overhead. So again, nobody touches the product.
Quickly, a shotgun shell begins to form. Wads, powder, and shot are added by machine.
The metal head gets put on, the primer comes in from behind, gets inserted.
And before you can say bang, shotgun shells by the hundreds roll out the end en route for final inspection.
Even if you had a shell that was in the box but didn't have any the right components, that scale is so sensitive, it would just kick it out as though there were a shell that was missing.
Federal goes to great lengths to make sure you aren't shooting blanks.
The finished product is tested. We shoot hundreds of thousands of rounds of ammunition every year to make sure that the product works as intended. In our ballistic testing, we can go a full year and have no misfires in our testing at all.
How can that be when we all know who to blame for a missed shot?
Well, it's got to be the gun or the ammunition. It's never the shooter. We all know, any of us who shoot know that.
How much truth is it that if you miss, you can actually blame the shell?
Oh, I do all the time.
Good news, shotgunners. If he can, we all can.
Uh-oh. We got another survivor going there.
If only those shells would misfire once in a while, we'd all have a great excuse for missing, right? Just doesn't happen. Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. Take him shooting. I'm Ron Sharon, of course, always the star of the show. Yes, it's Raven.
Guests appearing on Minnesota Bound receive gift certificates to Crave Restaurants. Fresh, vibrant, American. Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800 899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.